This is the Tombigbee Tales, and I'm your host, Shannon Evans. I write about a small town in northeast Mississippi called Columbus, and sometimes I write about the rest of the state. This episode is titled The Mystery of Go-Go Beach. This is part two in the Sin City South expose series that I'll be writing about for the next couple of weeks. Chapter 1, The Wright Family's Arrival. In the sweltering summer of 1932, a seemingly unremarkable event took place that would shape the future of Columbus, Mississippi for decades to come. Young Alfred Wright, barely 10 years old, along with his parents and siblings, packed up their meager belongings and made the arduous journey from Pickens County, Alabama, to the bustling southern town of Columbus. The Wright family, like many others, were drawn by the promise of opportunity in Columbus's growing textile industry. As they rattled down the dusty roads, young Alfred could hardly have imagined the empire he would one day build. The family settled into a modest home on the outskirts of town, and Alfred's father found work. Little did anyone know that this simple relocation would set in motion a series of events that would become the stuff of local legend. As Alfred grew into adulthood, he developed an unusual fascination with two seemingly unrelated items: pawn shops and the world of gambling. This interest of pawn shops would be where he observed the ebb and flow of fortunes and the desperate measures people would take when luck wasn't on their side. He also became intrigued by the hushed conversations about backroom poker games, underground betting rings, and pool halls. Adding another layer to this intriguing tale, Alfred married Otera Logan. Otera's family hailed from the notorious town of Phoenix City, Alabama, a place well known for its illegal gambling operations, brothels, and corruption. This connection would become a crucial piece of the puzzle in Alfred's rise to power, providing him with contacts and know-how in the shadowy world of illegal gambling. The birth of an empire. As the years passed, Alfred Wright transformed himself from local pawnbroker extraordinaire to having the ability to navigate both the legitimate business world and the underground economy, which earned him the enigmatic nickname, the Governor. While the true nature of his work from the time he actually did work for Alabama Governor George Wallace remained shrouded in mystery, many speculated that Wright served as a liaison between the governor's office and the gambling interests in Phoenix City. The moniker stuck, adding to Wright's growing mystique. The governor's empire began to take shape in the 1950s with a series of establishments springing up around Columbus. The Governor's Lounge, a bar that catered to the Columbus, quote, elite, and rumored to have a secret back room for high stakes poker games. The Silver Spur, a honky tonk that attracted a rougher crowd known for its live country music and the occasional bar fight. The Southern Air, a club that served as a front for a bustling bookmaking operation. And the Club, a local beer drinking establishment that offered dancing under a disco glitter ball and bookmaking to its other clientele. But it is Go-Go Beach that would become Wright's most infamous venture. Located across the Tombigbee River, this segregated African American club opened in the 1940s and 50s and quickly became a popular destination. The beach drew visitors from town with its crystal clear waters and remnants of a former sand pit that allowed for a way to cool off after a hot summer day. Go-Go Beach offered more than just swimming and sunbathing. It featured a juke joint that played the latest R&B hits, a barbecue pit that served up mouth-watering ribs and pulled pork, and if rumors were to be believed, a thriving numbers racket, slots, and casino tables. On weekends, the beach would come alive with the sounds of laughter and music and the roll of dice. However, the allure of Go-Go Beach would soon be overshadowed by tragedy and whispered conspiracies. The summer of 1967 brought a dark cloud over Go-Go Beach. On a sweltering July afternoon, William James, a 17-year-old man with a promising future, was found dead in the waters of the beach. William was known in the community, a star football player at the local high school under much beloved coach Billy Brewer. William had recently started working as a bouncer at Wright's Southern Air Club. The official story painted a simple, if tragic, picture. William had dived into the water, broken his neck on a submerged object or the bottom, and drowned. The coroner's report noted alcohol in his system, suggesting that impaired judgment may have played a role in the accident. But in Columbus, nothing is ever quite as simple as it seems. Rumors began to circulate that there was more to William's death than met the eye. Some said that William had been arguing with a group of white men earlier that day. Others whispered that he had bragged to his buddies and revealed sensitive information about the governor's operation where he worked at the Southern Air. Whatever it was, William's family, grief-stricken and suspicious, believed he had been murdered. They pointed to several inconsistencies in the original official report. William was an excellent swimmer and athlete. The lake was famous for always being crystal clear. He would have seen anything that was sticking out in the water or that it was too shallow if he actually had been diving. The lake had no diving platforms or outcroppings that led themselves to diving, and the location where his body was found was deep and sandy, making a diving accident unlikely. They also noted the presence of Constable Don Nevins at the scene as a red flag. Nevins was known to be in Wright's pocket, often turning a blind eye to the illegal activities at the governor's establishments. The James family suspected a potential cover-up of their son's death. Adding another layer of intrigue to the story, this wasn't the first tragedy to befall the James family. Just 3 years earlier, in 1964, William's older brother John had allegedly taken his own life under equally puzzling circumstances. John, who had been a star athlete himself and also an All-American, shot himself with a .22 rifle while his father was in the next room. While officially ruled a suicide, many in the community believed it was possibly murder after the death of William. The pattern of misfortune surrounding the James family only fueled the fires of speculation and conspiracy. Some began to wonder if the family had somehow crossed the governor or his associates. As time marched on, Go-Go Beach changed hands several times. Its waters still hold the secrets of that fateful summer day. The beach's troubled history continued when another yet-to-be-confirmed drowning incident in 1985, it is believed, happened involving an American from the nearby Columbus Air Force Base, which eventually, the death of this airman led to the eventual close of Go-Go Beach. The closure of Go-Go Beach marked the end of an era for Columbus's African-American community. It had been more than just a recreation spot. It was a place of freedom and expression in a time of segregation and racial tension, and then afterwards. Many former patrons still speak fondly of summer days spent at the beach, even as they acknowledge its darker history. Today, the once bustling beach exists as a private hunting and fishing preserve, its serene surface belying the turbulent events of its past. The old juke joint is long gone, and the barbecue pit is nothing more than a pile of rusted metal at this point. Yet for those who know where to look, traces of its history remain. A weathered sign here, a bit of old foundation here. On September 24th, 1990, Alfred Wright, the man who had become synonymous with Columbus's underworld, breathed his last. His funeral was attended by a mix of Columbus's elite and shadowy figures from in and out of town, a testament to the dual nature of his life and influence. But even in death, the governor couldn't escape controversy. Shortly after his passing, rumors began to circulate about the circumstances of his death. These whispers grew so loud that authorities were compelled to act. In a move that shocked the community, Wright's body was exhumed in 1992. The results of the new autopsy were startling. According to a local news article, traces of paraquat, a potent herbicide, were discovered in Wright's remains. This shocking revelation raised new questions. Had the governor been murdered? If so, who would have had the motive and means to poison such a powerful figure? Or had Wright chosen to go out on his own terms? The latter is highly unlikely. This final twist added one last chapter to the enigmatic life of Alfred Wright, ensuring that his name would continue to be spoken in hushed tones around Columbus for years to come. Indeed, as I've written this podcast, I've had multiple people tell me, quote, be careful. He still has reach, even though he's long gone. The interesting thing is that everything that I'm writing about is coming out of public record, or even better, from the family themselves who speak about Alfred and his life on social media. The legacy of Alfred Wright and the mysteries surrounding Go-Go Beach continue to captivate the imaginations of Columbus residents to this day. These stories have become part of the town's folklore, passed down through generations, growing more elaborate with each retelling. Local historians and amateur sleuths continue to dig into the town's archives, seeking answers to the many questions that remain. What was the true extent of Wright's empire? And what really happened to William James that summer day in 1967? Were the deaths of the James brothers connected? What secrets did the governor take to his grave? These stories serve as a stark reminder of Columbus's complex and sometimes dark history, a history that lies beneath the surface of everyday life, waiting to be uncovered by those brave enough to look. They speak to themes of power, race, and the blurred lines between law and lawlessness that characterize much of the 20th century South. As Columbus continues to evolve and grow, the echoes of its past, embodied in the story of Alfred Wright and Go-Go Beach, serve as a fascinating, if not sometimes troubled, connection to a time gone by. For many in Columbus, these tales are more than just local lore. They are a part of the town's identity, a reminder of how far they've come and the challenges they've overcome. The mysteries of Go-Go Beach may never be fully solved, but they will undoubtedly continue to intrigue and inspire for generations to come. I want to thank you for coming on my podcast, The Tombigbee Tales. This expose series will continue, as well as digging into the past of characters like Alfred Wright. Until next time.